after the pub shut, we'd go out and to the cider farm, get some cider, and turn out on the seafront. You'd have coachloads of Brummies and Bristol kids or whatever, like, you know, they'd all come down, having a drink themselves, and we'd be shouting things across, they'd be doing the same, and then we'd just go for it in the middle.
All the skirts, lapping up the sun, lap me up. Why don't you...
Until the law come along or whatever, and we usually be the ones that get arrested because the police knew us, like, so we'd be the ones that arrested, and they'd usually get away with everything.
Well, there goes another one.
16 youths appeared before Weston Supermare magistrates this morning, and fines of up to £300 have been imposed.
Getting fined that much is just going to make them go out and nick stuff and sell it to pay off their fines.
A lot of the lads did time, they did got Borstal, etc, etc. Me, I was lucky. I had a full-time job at the time, and I just ended up paying up thousands of pounds in fines over the years. I'd love to know where it went.
I think the best one was there must have been 50, 60 of us over on the bingo steps opposite the amusements. We all decided that we're going to go down to the Smith's Hotel where all the Brummy skinheads were. There's about 100 of them down there, and we met up with these 10 or 15 Bristol blokes, 20 Bristol blokes, whatever, and decided that we're going to do the Brummies together. So we all steamed into Smith's Hotel, kicked the crap out of the Brummies, and on the way back along the beach, we kicked the shit out of the Bristol blokes. And that's when the police were chasing us along the beach on horses. The police started quite a fair bit of the trouble, I'd say. Going in too heavy. Even on days when nothing happened, the old Bill would be there pushing, and I'm not talking about just us, I'm talking about ordinary pedestrians on the street, like, you know, pushing them all along the seafront to try and get them over onto the beach.
Everyone was piling over the wall because the police was trying to push everyone away, like from the seafront, to get them on here out the way. So that's when we all jumped over the walls and whatever. They had like all the Bristol lot was behind the police, and they segregated both lots. So that's how come we ended up on here that fateful day.
It was really terrifying for everybody, for the donkeys, the horses, and all the public with their little kiddies. They come on the beaches, they come about 400 at a time, and they would just make one run all the way and scream and shout.
I put it down, the police, they used to send them down on the beach to take the trouble off the streets, up, you know, where all the pubs was and that.
The bank holidays used to spoil it. I mean, obviously the fighting used to spoil it for a lot of people. There was victimisation from the police. I mean, in them days, we were basically sheep ready to be herded up by them. We was out of order sometimes with them, and we did have the occasional scuffle with them, but most of the time they just loved picking on us, because we basically had nothing else to do. Then there was a lot of bad feeling between us and the police. It didn't just happen in the summer. I mean, we got victimised in the winter. When there weren't any holiday makers around, they did enjoy picking on us, and they knew that we never used to get that much of a fight in court, and we just processed, basically.
It's all quiet on the Western seafront these days. wasn't always like this. 20 years ago, a gang of teenagers from a local housing estate terrorised the beaches. No bank holiday passed without a battle. They were called the Squad. I knew them in their heyday, all fanatical about Bristol Rovers, all mad, bad and dangerous to know. The stories are well documented by the press, police and the courts. But what about their own stories? Budgie, Daffy, Mountain, Sweat, Wally, oh and Tone. The characters are as vivid now as they were 20 years ago. The Squad members all came from the notorious Bourneville estate, isolated from the town of Weston by the two main railway lines to the west. An estate full of bored young men. As luck would have it, I got the chance to come back 20 years later, to listen to their stories and look back on those infamous days.
I'd come from a tough club in Birmingham, expecting Weston-super-Mare to be somewhere quite quiet. I was quickly enlightened that it wasn't, and it was just as bad as where I'd come from in the inner city.
Well, it all started back in 74, 75, back at school. It was Wally Valves, PG. He's dead now. He had an accident at work. Daff and Sweat.
The youngsters down here were considered to be quite beyond control. But in the main, it's been my belief that Bourneville's not as bad as it's painted. Certainly from a youth club point of view, it wasn't as bad as some people thought. The club was just looked upon by the youngsters as a refuge, but unfortunately by the people who lived in the locality as a place where all the troublemakers gathered.
We all lived on the Bourneville together. We had generations of different gangs. There was, my brother was a skinhead, he was a few years older than me. We had his gangs and we used to just mix in together. In the Squad used to knock around with my lot. Okay, that was not the biker gang I used to knock around with, but I used to always knock around with the skinheads as well, funny enough.
Frightening thing I can always remember was my mum shouting across the shops and telling me to get home. Because my mum was terrible. Stop hanging around them shops, get home.
Shortly before I got sort of integrated with the Squad, the states used to fight estates. The Bourneville used to fight the Mixon, and the Bourneville used to come down to Whirl and fight the Whirl lads, and vice versa. And then all of a sudden it changed, and the Bourneville lads started recruiting people from other parts of Weston. I got into the skinhead thing. I got my head shaved, and basically I got recruited in, and I was a full-time member then.
I moved from Clavering down here. It's a totally different way of life. I either got learn to go with it, and either be hardened, or you just get pushed on all the time. So in the end, I just come where I was. And where I was out there, I had guns and bikes and everything else. And when I come here, it just totally ruined my life, because my father took everything away from me. You're not allowed to have it because it's a town. So in the end, I just rebelled against everything.
The Squad started off, we had, I don't know, all the schools, like Whirl, Wyvern, Broadoak. I think it happens everywhere in the country. We always have a little rumble with different schools and whatever. And as that happens, we all sort of left the school at the same time, and we all ended up in town. So come the end of it all, we just all joined together. And basically then the music started, and that's really when we all turned skinhead. I always used to carry a camera with me. I used to have a special pocket in my jean jacket and I slid it in. A 110 camera, because you could carry it everywhere. No one could see it and you could just pull it out on certain moments and no one would know nothing about. And I took some good shots with it.
A typical bank holiday Monday would be like, go over the shops, meet up there about 9, half 9, maybe have a kick about with a football or whatever for half hour or so till everyone's ready, like. Get about 8, 10, maybe 12 of you over the shops, like. Over the social club for a few cheap ciders, because that was dynamite fuel. No matter, I don't care what anyone says, that social club cider was the strongest in town. And we get over there and like we'd meet up with another 6 to a dozen or whatever, and then it'd be stroll into town, maybe via the Ancaster, depends which way we went. But we used to go into Ancaster quite regular after a while because the police banned us from the social club. They told the social club to stop serving us cider, so we all had to go to the Ank and had to pay an extra 10p a pint, which was murder.
We got 3 million miles to reach on the moon. So let's start getting happy.
When we actually got to town, we'd all sort of like go in the Globe or the Cavy, which was the Cavendish end, or the Anchor, meet up with the Anchor animals. They were a berserk bunch of animals as well. They were a bit more mental than us. I don't want as many of them. And then, like 2 o'clock, pubs are shut. Some people would have shot off during the afternoon. They got a few gallons of screeching for the beach. They would head down the lawns, unless there was a drinking competition in Max's, and we'd go and steam into that. Drink all the beer, fill in a few bikers. And then head to the lawns then, and that was just wait and see what was going on, like, you know.
A girl and a half, she's got me going up and down. She's got me going up and down.
After the pub shut, we'd go out and to the cider farm, get some cider and turn out on the seafront. You'd have coachloads of Brummies and Bristol kids or whatever, like, you know, they'd all come down having a drink themselves, and we'd be shouting things across, they'd be doing the same, and then we'd just go for it in the middle.
Up the sun, lap me up. Why don't you
until the law come along or whatever, and we usually be the ones that get arrested because the police knew us, like, so we'd be the ones that arrested and they'd usually get away with everything, like, you know?
She's looking at the beaches. Well, there goes another one.
16 youths appeared before Weston Supermare magistrates this morning, and fines of up to £300 have been imposed.
Getting fined that much is just going to make them go out and nick stuff and sell it to pay off their fines.
A lot of the lads did time. They got Borstal, etc., etc. Me, I was lucky. I had a full-time job at the time, and I just ended up paying up thousands of pounds in fines to them over the years. I'd love to know where it went.
I think the best one was there must have been 50, 60 of us over on the bingo steps opposite the amusements. We all decided that we're going to go down to the Smith's Hotel, where all the Brummies skinheads were. There's about 100 of them down there. And we met up with these 10 or 15 Bristol blokes, 20 Bristol blokes, whatever. And decided that we're going to do the Brummies together. So we all steamed into Smith's Hotel, kicked the crap out of the Brummies. And on the way back along the beach, we kicked the shit out of the Bristol blokes. And that's when the police were chasing us along the beach on horses. The police started quite a fair bit of the trouble, I'd say. Going in too heavy. Even on days when nothing happened, the old Bill would be there pushing, and I'm not talking about just us, I'm talking about ordinary pedestrians on the street, like, you know, pushing them all along the seafront to try and get them over onto the beach.
Everyone was piling over the wall because the police was trying to push everyone away, like from the seafront, to get them on here out the way. So that's when we all jumped over the walls and whatever. They hadn't, like, all the Bristol lot was behind the police, and they segregated both lots. So that's how come we ended up on here that fateful day.
It was really terrifying for everybody, for the donkeys, the horses, and all the public with their little kiddies. They come on the beaches, they come about 400 at a time, and they would just make one run all the way and scream and shout.
I put it down. The police, they used to send them down on the beach to take the trouble off the streets, up, you know, where all the pubs was and that.
The bank holidays used to spoil it. I mean, obviously the fighting used to spoil it for a lot of people. There was victimisation from the police. I mean, in them days, we were basically sheep ready to be herded up by them. We was out of order sometimes with them, and we did have the occasional scuffle with them, but most of the time they just loved picking on us, because they basically had nothing else to do. Then there was a lot of bad feeling between us and the police. It didn't just happen in the summer. I mean, we got victimised in the winter. When there weren't any holiday makers around, they did enjoy picking on us, and they knew that we never used to give up much of a fight in court, and we just processed, basically.
Keep nicking you for the same old thing. In the end, those just come out of office licences, walk up the road, we gather inside them, and the next thing you know, right van pull up to you, and you're nicked for the day under suspicion. It's a suspicion of what? A suspicion of causing a fray. And if you get in the van, you'll be locked up all day. Then let you go out late at night.
I got nicked one bank holiday, the Friday before bank holiday actually. And because it was a bank holiday Monday, on the following Monday, the courts decided to put me in prison for 3 weeks so that I wouldn't be out for that bank holiday Monday.
There were lots of occasions when youngsters were picked up by the police who weren't really responsible. They were pulled in just because the police knew them and they happened to be in the locality when something went wrong.
Bank holidays were the days when the pub shut at 3, you know, everyone used to come out on here, because you never had nothing else to do, didn't have nowhere else to go. So you'd be out here wandering around, and that's when all the gangs and that would meet up. All your bikers, your mods, or whoever come to Weston, they'd always end up here. This was the prime spot, and it always went off. It's just inevitable, really, till the pubs opened. Then it went dead, finished. Some boy could come around the corner, we had a little ding-dong with a few weeks before. Something to do with John actually, and he just let fire on him straight away.
A couple of weeks before the fight, I'd insulted the bloke's girlfriend, and he threatened me on the spot there and then. He said he'd get me, and well, I'd forgotten all about it. And then come a bank holiday, we were all there on the steps, looking at the people going by and the trouble and stuff, and he suddenly appeared from round the corner with all his Western biker friends, because there was a bit of tension in them days with the Western bikers. And he came straight up to me, because I was sat at the bottom of the steps, and offered me out for a fight there and then. And I said, well, no, because it's a bank holiday, and there was police everywhere and hundreds of people. I offered to see him at the park later on that day. But he wouldn't have it, and he just suddenly swung a punch at me there and then, and I got up, and lucky enough Basil was there with the camera and took those famous photographs.
It happened so quick, I just got my camera out and clipped off 3. I mean, a fight only lasts a minute if it's a long one, and it's all over, and that was that. I don't even know where the bloke went actually.
The poor lad, basically I beat 7 tons of shit out of him, basically, like, you know. We ended up shaking hands down the alleyway, and he walked off very embarrassed.
I think we all scarpered before we got arrested for it.
I got a brownie point on my street cred. My favourite memories of the bank holidays was well, it happened quite a few times, is when someone would spot there'd be a crew of mods arrive in town. They all should come in numbers as well. I mean, some of them, like, there was the 40 or 50 scooters all come in, and the word would go round, mods are here. And, like, you know, no matter how far or wide the lads were in town at the time, we'd all converge in Regent Street by the bingo steps. And my favourite memory was just, like, between between 50 and 60 of us just screaming down Regent Street, like, 'cause all these mods were coming at one far end, and we were right at the other, and we just took over the whole road, and just 50 or 60 screaming skinheads and punks, like, just heading towards these mods. And they all slammed their brakes on and just did a big U-turn, and off they went, like, you know, absolutely wet in their pants. That's one of my favourites.
Years ago, when we were down, when we were all skinheads, they had 2,000 mods turned on and took on 200 skinheads, but the skinheads won. So that was all over within minutes because the police, the riot police and all the horsebacks and all that broke it all up. But it was all good fun. It was all a good day out, so I was happy with it.
And then Dave's just good old-fashioned punch-ups, and somebody might get a kick on the floor, somebody might get a boot in the head. But there was we never carried weapons or tools or anything like that. It was fists and boots, strictly that. The Western turf was sacred ground for us. And I can honestly say that I can't remember anyone coming down from outside town and taking us on and winning. I can honestly say I never got any severe beatings, and I didn't know any of the lads who got any severe beatings.
We was always outnumbered. You know what I mean? Like, you know, probably we had about 50 skinheads. And you get like 300 or 400 come down from Bristol. You know, and that's quite funny looking back on it, to be honest. Like, you know, we used to get chased everywhere. You know, have a little dig on the beach here and there. You know, but you was vastly outnumbered. It was a good day out. It was a bit of fun. Yeah, and that was it. As I said, you went home to tea, and that was the day over.
Well, the thing that springs to mind, it was a good pose. And it was very fashionable, and the music enhanced it all. You see like the guys in the specials with their rude boy haircuts and the cut on, and you want to be like them. And it all seemed to fit into the skinhead revival at the time from the late 60s. And I think, yeah, and we definitely wanted to be someone as well. It was all part of being someone, which we wanted to be, because a lot of the lads were unemployed and they didn't have nothing to do with all their time, and they just wanted to be someone, and the squad enhanced that.
Yeah, it was a golden age actually. It was to do with the music, and well, not just the scene at the time, really. I mean, I had some good times, I had some good mates. Thoroughly enjoyed every moment of it, actually. Well, they were the days of my youth.
The best thing about it was there wasn't nobody was in charge of the squad, like, you know, there wasn't no leader or nothing like that. Everyone sort of like had the same respect for each other, you know, and if one person got into trouble, then it was one and all, like, you know. There wasn't ever a time when no one ducked a fight or whatever, or shindig or scuffle with the bill.
There's no gangs like the squad anymore. I don't think there ever will be. That was it. I'm glad, actually, because I like to think of us as a one-off elite. Unless there is a major skinhead punk revival in the future, I don't think there ever will be another squad or anything to match them.
I think where the squad has stuck out in the story is because they was really the last gang that used to hang around, because things sort of changed then. It seems now you don't get so many gangs around, but it's funny how the girls seem to be picking up on it now, and you're getting girl gangs hanging around and doing the sort of things that boys used to do. And walking like blokes and all.
Obviously times have changed now. You go down on a bank holiday Monday now, you can take your kids. I go there with my missus, I take my dog, I feel comfortable. There's no trouble. It was just one of those eras which people have basically grown out of now, and it's past.
I've always worked, so it's just that I've got to channel my money now into the family rather than out having a piss up all the time. I mean, I still go out weekends, still see all my mates, still see all the old squad boys and that, but it's a little bit toned down now.
These days I do regard myself as a respectable citizen, even though I might not look it. Yeah, I've got 2 children to bring up. Very nice as well they are. And they've done me proud. Both of them. Straight shot. Really have done me justice. Good girl. Right, Dean, take your time. Look at the hole. Do your stuff. Good shot.
The most important thing in my life is to keep hold of most of the things I got, like my boats and that, my cars, and my rods and my dog. I like them, and I think they're the greatest thing I've ever seen is them Stafford Terriers. Like, what you got when you never want another one.
The same, just have a good time. Rock and roll.
Put your braces together and your boots on your feet and give me some of that old moon stamping. Get ready. We got 3 million miles to reach on the moon. So let's start getting happy now. Ready? Yeah.
We used to walk 3 miles just to go and kick their asses. Was it worth it?
Now, before we reach on the moon, fellas, we gotta make sure that everything is good and strong. Alright? We gotta make sure you shine your boots.
They're waiting for us. They couldn't see us. We waited for them just to line up and hit them with the milk bottles. What's that, talking? No, we're all school, yeah, fucking right. And like, we went back on the way back to Weston, we got to the traffic lights, and the cop went, have you just come from Rome? Yeah, he said, what are you, some kind of suicide squad? And we went, no, we're just a squad. We take on. And there was me, Rayton, Chris Fowles, Ian Page, Dies, the Bennett brothers, Budgie Wicks, and Chris Fowles. That was it. That was the lot. You weren't there too.
That's all we did.
Oh, and two.
Part of my very enjoyable misspent youth. I don't regret a thing. In fact, if I could, I'd go back and do it all again. It was great fun.
So let's go see one more. Ready? Yeah.